how did peacekeeping come about? Well, the UN Charter doesn't mention peacekeeping. The UN Charter envisaged that the big powers that had won World War II would get together and impose peace around the world. And peacekeeping was supposed to be the militaries of the 5 big powers who constituted the permanent members of the Security Council. But once the Cold War started, that became impossible. And so Dag Hammarskjöld had the brilliance to actually find countries whom one could broadly in those days refer to as middle powers, including India, Canada, Ireland, countries like that, to actually step in and do the peacekeeping that the big powers no longer could because they didn't agree with each other. So our not being engaged in the conflicts of the Cold War was actually a major asset in peacekeeping. Yeah. And that's why the catechism that Espen was summarizing evolved, that peacekeepers do not take sides. Our only side is peace itself. We are not interested in the victory of one or the other. In fact, we try not to get involved when one or the other side is still pursuing victory. It's when they have decided that they are ready for peace that peacekeepers come in. There's this wonderful old line from Brian Urquhart, the late great Brian Urquhart, who talked about never dive into an empty pool. That is, don't try and make peace when one or the other side is not ready for peace. But once they are ready, then Espen is quite right. I mean, in fact, the Russians have made it explicit that they will not accept European peacekeepers who belong to NATO countries. They say they will not have NATO troops policing the peace in Ukraine. Now, that's an open statement by the Russian government. So, since pretty much all of Europe seems to belong to NATO these days, even Carl Bill Sweden, I don't know where we're going to go. I mean, you'll have to look beyond Europe for your peacekeepers in Europe. And that may well be something that you would want to turn to India for. And certainly, speaking as an Indian parliamentarian, I don't think there's going to be a lot of resistance to that idea. I think there was resistance famously when there was a request at one point in 2003 for India to send troops to Iraq. And Parliament got together and passed a resolution saying in no circumstances should Indian peacekeepers go to Iraq after the American invasion. I don't see that happening for Ukraine. I think that if it were necessary and there was an agreed peace, I think there would be some willingness to consider, but I can't speak for the government. I'm in the opposition.